what about the innocent Palestinians? Can they get out?
Yeah.
Right? The women, the children,
Right.
the elderly, how can they get out? That still has not been figured out.
No,
Egypt does not want to open the Rafah crossing.
they're refusing to.
They don't, right. Egypt, Jordan, I mean, Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, all these countries that that talk about how much they care about the Palestinians, they could help right now. They could help the Palestinians escape. They could help. They could say, okay, stop bombing, and we will go in there, and we will help Gaza like become a thriving society. They could do all sorts of things. They have money, by the way.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Where are they?
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So, do you guys ever feel like we as conservatives, we're just constantly just getting outplayed and outmaneuvered in a game that, we really aren't even sure, even after all this time, what the rules really are, or if there are any rules, I'll explain what I mean in a moment. But before I do, guys, thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing and sharing and leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. We're building a great community. If you haven't already, guys, join us. Help us to continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share. So here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the left and their constant gaslighting of their poor, mushy-brained followers who really do believe, and they believe this through daily, never-ending, mind-warping propaganda that really does have them believing that anyone who could dare think like you or me, anyone who could dare even condemn the slaughter of innocent people by terrorists, well, that means that we're racist, we're misogynist, we're evil, privileged fascists, we're colonizers that hate democracy, and we just can't be trusted. None of that is even close to true. And none of it is bore out by any facts anywhere on the planet, alternate or real. So, but here's the result. We spend most of our time defending ourselves against completely ridiculous claims when, we know we have nothing to be defensive about in the first place, because, all we've actually been talking about, all we've been advocating for is nothing extreme. We're talking about just the most basic and most common of all common sense. And if you need an example of exactly what I'm talking about, jump in the DeLorean with me real quick and have a look at this.
When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Thank you. It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. And some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense.
He's absolutely right. It only makes perfect common sense. And guys, they turn that into every ist and every ism you could possibly imagine. But the man was right. And it's true. All he was talking about was just common sense. And I've been talking about it a lot lately. But guys, thankfully, people are finally waking up. And not just independents and conservatives. Lifelong liberals, they are coming around to see, they're coming out of the fog.
One of the things that people are really concerned with is what if terror cells have gotten in across the border? When you're letting in hundreds of thousands of people across the border, what are the odds that a few of them are terrorists? Well, haven't they caught terrorists at the border? Haven't they caught terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list trying to get through? They have, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how many of them snuck through? I mean, is there an accurate accounting, or is it like Ukraine spending? Do they even know the real numbers of people that are sneaking in? Because the numbers are cuckoo. The numbers are like hundreds of thousands a month. Have you seen the videos of the line of migrants making their way through the border?
Mm-hmm.
Who thought that was a good idea?
It's
Who
ridiculous.
thought that was a good idea to like let potential terrorists and criminals into the country?
That's why we need to build this wall, Joe.
Because if you don't, if you say that you're against that, you're racist,
Right.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Wild. And you got to wonder how much of that is engineered by other countries, how much of that is like engineered social media outrage by Russia.
So, I mean, these guys are not alone. You know, these are just a few of the people who've transitioned from thinking and believing and repeating that Donald Trump was some sort of unhinged racist Russian plant to, damn, man, why the hell didn't we listen to this guy? Is now what they're thinking. And why didn't we? Well, because we have extremist factions in the world now calling for literal jihad after we've been letting hundreds of thousands of unchecked, unvetted, unaccounted for people into our country, really just to prove how virtuous we are and to prove that we'll do anything to make sure we don't do anything that Donald Trump ever said was a good idea. And here's the thing. People have been sounding the alarm. People have been talking about cartels. They've been talking about fentanyl. They've been talking about trafficking, human and drug. They've been talking about possible terror cells crossing the border. And liberals this entire time have been calling us names, saying that we're racist, we're this is, we're that ism, and we can't prove that the people are coming. Well, here's the thing. Now that things are even looking just a tiny bit hairy in the world, these are the same people that are now coming to the realization that, hey, wait a minute. We can't prove that they're not here either. And they now realize that this could be a real serious issue. And we now have lifelong pie in the sky, no man is illegal, everything's a human right, build the utopia now, type liberal fantasy liberals finally realizing, hey, wait a minute. It's not our responsibility to welcome every person on the planet into the fold. Not only is it not our responsibility, it's not sustainable and it's not possible. And it just doesn't make common sense. Even Jake Tapper and CNN.
What about the innocent Palestinians? Can they get out?
Yeah.
Right? The women, the children,
Right.
the elderly, how can they get out? That still has not been figured out.
No,
Egypt does not want to open the Rafah crossing.
they're refusing to.
They don't, right. Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, all these countries that that talk about how much they care about the Palestinians, they could help right now. They could help the Palestinians escape. They could help. They could say, okay, stop bombing, and we will go in there, and we will help Gaza become a thriving society. They could do all sorts of things. They have money, by the way.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Where are they?
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jake Donald Trump Tapper of fake news CNN. It only took every disaster possible to all happen at basically the exact same time for the man to come out of his propagandist fog and start exercising some common sense. And Jake, this thing you're experiencing right now is exactly why successful dealers, they don't get high on their own supply, bro. But and I don't just have advice there. I will caution you just a tiny, tiny little bit. What you're saying right here, the things that you're saying, the things that are coming out of your mouth, they make you sound like a crazy, right-wing, nationalistic, fascist bigot. Just so you know. Not sure, how long this position you're feeling right now is going to be popular, politically popular. So be careful. But honestly, you'll probably be okay. Because here's one of the more brutal facts of life. If a conservative says the exact same thing, they get gaslit and demonized until they basically relent and won't come out of the dang garage. But when someone from the left says it, it's an amazing idea. A perfectly cromulent point that we're just so glad that you came up with, Jake. It's just insane, man. And Mr. Jake Donald Trump Tapper, it's just the same old story on rinse and repeat. Every time the going gets tough, everyone gets conservative. But when things are good, conservatives are racist. And just so we're all on the same page on where we are in the history map, we are right now in the weak men create tough times phases. Just so if you're keeping track at home. And anyway, guys, that's just my take. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.